but I will wrap up. And what I was so remember I said you want to understand your history in order to understand where you're headed, right? We need to understand where we came from so we don't make more bad decisions and we have a shot at making more good decisions in future. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about where I think we're at and what I think is next. So 30 years ago, in my view, the average person kind of bumbled through our lives and we were more or less invisible, right? We could say stuff and nobody would remember it later. We didn't have this perfect memory where we could look back and find out what we were doing on a night 9 years and 7 days or whatever earlier. We made mistakes, and we had the luxury of having those mistakes immediately forgotten, including by us. I feel so sorry for young people today who are on the internet. I am so glad it did not exist when I was 17. But today, everything is visible and everything is recorded. And we have these new public squares in which we are all participating, right? You may have, I have kind of opted out of Facebook, you may opt out of this and that, but we are all online and we are all together there. And our public spaces on the internet are more like shopping malls than they are like parks or libraries or schools. We used to think that it was awesome that Wikipedia was so great and alone and such a fabulous place on the internet. And then over time, we at Wikipedia, we came to decide that it was actually really sad, right? Like, where were all our colleagues? Where were all the awesome nonprofit public spaces? They didn't exist. And when your public spaces are run by private sector players, that means that they aren't accountable to us and they can kick us out or stop us talking if they want to. And we haven't yet figured out any norms for any of this. So the people who own those companies, it is entirely unclear to everyone, including them, what their accountability to us is and what it looks like. As people on the internet, as sort of digital citizens, presumably we have rights and we may also have responsibilities, but it is not at all clear to us what those involve. Individual privacy, the role of individual privacy and how it fits in, also entirely unclear. We didn't used to collect all this stuff. We didn't used to have access to all of this stuff. What do we do with it now? It's like toxic waste. What is to be done with it? And how do we make the internet what we need it to be for the benefit of ordinary people, right? It's this incredible technological revolution that offers so much promise. It is not clear that we're going to make something that has a positive social impact. It may end up being something that has a negative social impact. And the work of the next 10, 20, 30 years is constructing those understandings and building that consensus. Thank you.